Hi, John Murphy here of FPF Training for this week's installment of That's a Thing. This week is kind of a bonus round of That's a Thing because we'll have three things to talk about. First, I'm going to discuss the law of self-defense regarding the use of deadly force, what it is and when we can use it. Secondly, we're going to talk about the difference between cover and concealment. I'll illustrate that. And finally, I'll talk a bit about psychology that was driven home to me. I took a class last November from a guy named Philip Groff of Vigor Training, highly recommended, that we tend to shoot only at things that we have a full target exposure on, and how that may not be always beneficial for our cause. Up front, the Marine Corps taught me many years ago that deadly force is that force which is known or should be reasonably known to constitute the substantial likelihood of causing death or serious bodily harm. So, known, a pistol shot, a knife blade. Reasonably known, a blunt instrument to the head, a chokehold held for an extended period of time. Those things are known or reasonably known by a sentient adult to constitute the substantial likelihood of causing death or serious bodily harm. We can only employ that level of force in our own defense or the defense of a third party if we so choose, if that person, ourselves or that person, are facing the same level of threat at that exact moment. Imminence is a big component, a pillar of the laws of self-defense. And on that note, I recommend very much Andrew Branca's book, The Law of Self-Defense. So with that established, let's talk about the difference between cover and concealment. I'm sure we've all heard this before. Cover is something that will prevent us from being shot. Concealment is something that will prevent us from being observed. Examples here behind us, I have a guy armed with an AK. Work with me. Let's assume that he's behind a concrete pillar or a wall, and all I can really see is that target indicator of his muzzle coming around the wall. So if I try to address that target with my 9mm handgun effectively, here's what we get. In this case, no effect at all. The cover prevented my rounds from going through and getting him. Now remember also this, cover can be very contextual. What will stop a handgun bullet will be Swiss cheesed by a rifle bullet. So we kind of have to keep that in mind as well. Examples of cover would be engine blocks, that concrete pillar, all those huge bollards they have out in front of buildings right now to prevent ramming attacks and vehicle bashing into buildings. Those are examples of cover, and this is an example of how cover benefits, in this case, the attacker. Let's move over here. We have an example of concealment. Now here we have a classic square range setup, and we are psychologically kind of disabled. We pretty much have to see a full target before we will shoot. The reality is, though, I can deliver effective fire upon this guy. He won't even know I was there, because my bullets will zip right through what he thinks he's hiding behind. Now in this case, I noted that I was confronted with an assailant armed with a rifle. I mentioned in an earlier video that if they come with a rifle, they tend to come with lots of ammunition, and they may even be wearing body armor. So in this particular instance, I decided to target from the top down. Let's see how we did. We did all right. I got a shot through his right eye, one right here at the bridge of the nose, down in the throat, and then all the way down here to just below the cardiac triangle. In this case, he wasn't wearing body armor, but we can't tell. So the takeaways from this week are, one, deadly force and when it is justified. In this particular instance, this guy is harming other people, and we're intervening on their behalf, or we are in an evolving active shooter situation, and we have a chance to defend ourselves if we overcome the psychology of being able to engage a target that we don't have a full exposure of, and keeping in mind the difference between cover and concealment, because that's a thing. Thanks for your time. Hope to see you on the range.